the biggest challenges of being a single mom, especially for those of us who do not know what that is like?
Biggest challenges. Okay, so there's two levels to that. One is as the mom aspect. The first thing I'd say is, at first I felt like a failure. I don't fail at anything, and that was a problem.
That was not on your goals.
Yeah, it's not on my to-do list. So I felt like I failed because my parents had been married for over 40-something years, right? And so my job was to stay married, have a great marriage, you know, be the best models for those two girls right there. And so I feel like I fell there. So that's like the part about the single mom thing that kind of like, I don't know. So now the second part to that is when you're doing it on your own, sometimes you can feel overwhelmed.
Right.
You can feel like, okay, am I taking away from them? Am I giving them too much? Am I pampering them too much? Am I trying to make them strong and say, hey, you can do, you know, pro-women's lib kind of thing. You can do anything by yourself. You don't need a man. And I'm like, no, I never tell my girls that because ultimately I want to get married again. You know, I do. It's better when it's two.
Right.
It's a partnership. It's great to have that. So I think I try to model for them that you can do anything you set your mind to. So getting my degrees, that they see that. They're like, okay, if mama did it, I can do it. They know, you know, we talk very candidly about, you know, the divorce and dad and mom and all that stuff. So they know what to look for in a young man, if you will. You know, we have those kind of conversations. You know, she's 16 and she wants to date. Oh my Lord, not ready for that part, right? But we have those conversations. So having the wisdom to kind of lead them and guide them and share those different things with them is kind of like my job as a single mom. At the same time, kind of model like, you know, I don't have people in and out of my house ever. You know, I'm a very, I don't know, you don't do it, you know, so they know you will not date around, you will not sleep around, you will not do any of those things because mommy doesn't do it, so you won't.
Right.
And so just teaching them those things, that's important because like and you know, he does what he does at his house, but he's a man and I have to, he talks to them about, you know, guys are this and he'll tell them, you don't want, you know, so they have that conversation.
Perspective.
But I have as a lady, this is what you do, this is what you look for, you know, so that, and then just balancing everything as a single mom, it's challenging, but it's doable. And I think that's what people, I don't know, some people make it as an excuse. And so
to not do things well.
I'm unique in that regard that I'm like, there's nothing I can't do. It might take me a bit, it might take me a little bit longer, or it might look different, but it can be done. And so I don't know, you can do it. I don't know how not to do anything. And so
well, they say that God doesn't give us more than we can do, but I assume sometimes it feels like maybe He has.
Yeah, you know,
and also,
but sometimes we put that on ourselves.
Right.
Sometimes we put that on ourselves.
And then I was thinking, like, without the partnership, you have to make so many decisions all by yourself that you don't have anybody to. Who do you go to for? Should I do this? Should I do that? Who do you go to for that?
My friend, and then I have a best friend. We've been friends since college, and then I have I told you, I think off the camera about my 5 girlfriends. We've been friends since 5th grade, and so one has her doctorate. She's a professor at a university. Another's working on her PhD, and so if it's a PhD thing, you know, she and we bounce back. I have one of my best girlfriends here in town. We talk about everything. So it's not that I am alone. I have a lot of people in my network that I help and they help me.
Right.
And then I have a couple ladies who they're wise. That's where I get my wisdom from. One of them, she still turned 61 in September. We had a birthday party in Bahamas last year, and that's who I can call. I'm like, hey, let me tell you something. you know, and she was in education, so I'll kind of bounce some things off. She goes, no, that, you don't do that. You don't do it. Let me tell you why. And so I have those resources and the people that I trust. I have a very small circle, but that's my circle. That's my circle.
It's interesting that you mentioned girlfriends, because I think that's something a lot of times we'll give up. We're going to work and we go out to be there for our kids, but sometimes that is given up.
Yeah. And
they don't see the benefit of it.
And you can't, like, I don't call everybody friend. Like, I really don't. I have a lot of associates, like a lot. And a lot of people who call me friend, but I don't. And for me, a friend is someone you know the good, the bad, the ugly about me, right? And so that's why my circle is very, very small. And that's who I trust. And so if I didn't have that network right there, I don't know how.
Feel alone.
Yeah. Now that's when I think I'd be like, okay. You know, because right now I have a lot of cheerleaders who are like, girl, you got this. And I'm thinking, you know, when I feel like I'm not going to graduate, you know, it's just a rare. But when I do, I have
somebody's there to prop you back up.
And they're like, really, let's go get a margarita. Take a Uber, go take a nap.
It's going to be okay.
Tomorrow you'll be fine. So you need that. If you don't, I don't know how you survive.
Right.
Even when you do have a husband,
right,
you have to have a life outside of him.
Right.
And that helps you appreciate him. And helps you appreciate. There's a fine balance. It's doable.
Right. Well, have you allowed yourself to date again? And so is there somebody important in your life right now?
Yes.
Has he been there for a while?
Yeah, a good one. So we'll see what happens.
Good. Has your ex-husband remarried?
No.
No. Okay. So. Oh, and you mentioned that you all have a good working relationship in terms of partnering to parent them, and gosh, you don't see that all the time.
I know.
It's so sad to me when you don't see that. I can't figure out, because I'm not in that situation,
right,
why they can't see it.
Right.
That it's about the kid.
It's funny you said that. So, a funny story, true story. We go to a parent-teacher conference, right? And say she's in 5th grade, I don't know. So the teacher, we go together. And so.
Like you actually go together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
so.
He goes and we meet there and we go. And we bring the kids and we're there at the teacher conference.
Some people you're going to like married to some people.
Oh, I'll tell you about that later. So when we go there and we have the conference, so the teacher says, she goes, can I just tell y'all the best divorced couple ever. You guys are the model. Can y'all model for some other parents? Because people forget it, you know?
Right.
And we don't, we're never getting back together. That's a done deal. Shops closed, no, not even interested, you know? But we haven't forgot our sole purpose is those 2 little girls, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what you do. Now for the people think you're married, so volleyball club story, true stories. Like I have my married name still, and I kept it because it's a cool name, and because that's like what people know me in my career. So I was married when I was working, so I just kept it. I was like whatever, and I said it's like that. I don't know if you saw the Tina Turner movie.
Which one?
What's Love Got to Do with It? Her a long time ago with Angela Bassett. Anyway, there's a scene in the movie where they're getting a divorce, her and Ike. And she says, all I want is my name. So that's a running joke. I said, I don't need anything from you. I just want to keep my name. So he always says, when do I get my name back? I was like, when I get married, you don't have to worry about it. You can have it back. You can have everything back. So, but people don't know that we're not married sometimes. So they'll be talking to your husband this, and I don't want to hurt their feelings. So I just leave it.
Go along with it.
Yeah, and so it happens to him too. But every now and then he'll be like, she's my ex-wife. Or I'm like, ex-husband, I'm so sorry. It's like, it's really okay. It's not a big deal. You know, I'm secure in who I am.
Well, it's kind of a compliment that y'all have that relationship.
Yeah, so that happens a lot in the world when they don't know about me or who I am, and same for him. But, you know, he brings his girlfriend with him. I'm like, there you go. That's him. And I'm over here. You know, so it works.
Well, you can be proud of that, because those girls are really benefiting, and you don't see that a lot.
Yes.
People always say that's how they're going to do it,
but
then something
happens.
I think gets personal.
It does, and they don't. I think forgiveness probably hasn't taken place, and I think that there's some things that have been internalized, and then it's still about me. I want to be right. It's not about being right.
Right. That happens even when you're married.
Yeah,
So I'm sure there's times where you don't both agree on the same decision. You have to work through it.
We do.
Just like you would when you're married.